10 rare and endangered animals native to the Middle East. Number 10. The Arabian leopard. Panthera pardus nimmer is the smallest leopard subspecies on the planet. An adult male weighs only 65 to 90 pounds, about the size of a large Labrador, but every ounce is muscle-wrapped in a pale, rosette-spotted coat perfectly camouflaged against limestone cliffs. Fewer than 200 remain in the wild, scattered across the jagged mountains of Oman, Yemen, and a tiny corner of western Saudi Arabia. The IUCN lists them as critically endangered. These cats are nocturnal ghosts, capable of dragging an ibex twice their weight up sheer rock faces. Their primary prey, mountain gazelles and rock hyrax, have vanished from much of their range, leaving leopards to raid livestock. Retaliatory killing, combined with habitat fragmentation from new roads and fences, has pushed them to the edge. Yet there is real hope. Oman's reintroduction program in the Dhofar Mountains has camera-trapped breeding pairs in recent years, and Saudi Arabia's Royal Commission for Alula now patrols a 6,000-square-mile leopard sanctuary. If prey populations rebound, this spotted shadow could still prowl these mountains for centuries. Number 9. The sand cat. Felis margarita looks like someone shrank a domestic tabby and gave it snowshoe paws. Thick fur covers the soles of its feet, letting it walk on 150 dur of sand without scorching. Native to the deep deserts of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, and Iraq, the global population is unknown but certainly declining. The IUCN classifies them as least concern overall, but the Arabian subspecies Hinde is vanishing fast. Kittens are born in abandoned fox burrows, emerging only after sunset to hunt gerbils and spiny-tailed lizards. Off-road desert racing, oil field development, and free-roaming domestic cats spreading disease have all taken a toll. The Al Marmoom Desert Conservation Reserve in Dubai now protects core breeding habitat, and the Environment Agency, Abu Dhabi, runs a successful captive breeding program. These tiny felines remind us that even empty desert supports hidden life. Number 8. The Arabian oryx. Once declared extinct in the wild in 1972, Oryx leucoryx staged one of conservation's greatest comebacks. Long, nearly straight horns, up to 30 inches, and a white coat that reflects harsh sunlight made them legends of Bedouin poetry. By the late 20th century, poaching for horns and live capture had erased them from the wild. Operation Oryx, launched by the Phoenix Zoo and the Fauna and Flora Preservation Society, bred animals from the last handful in captivity. Reintroductions began in Oman in 1982, followed by Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Jordan. Today, roughly 1,200 toddlers roam free, with another 6,000 to 7,000 in fenced reserves. The IUCN downgraded them from extinct in the wild to vulnerable in 2011, proof that determined global cooperation can reverse extinction. Number 7. The Syrian brown bear. Ursus arctos syriacus is the smallest brown bear subspecies and the only one native to the Middle East. A big male stands just 5 feet at the shoulder and tips the scales at 300–400 pounds. Once common from Turkey through Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and western Iran, war and habitat loss have reduced them to tiny, isolated pockets. The most reliable population, perhaps 150 to 200 individuals, clings to the oak woodlands of the anti-Lebanon mountains along the Lebanon-Syria border. These bears raid orchards and beehives, which has earned them enemies, but they also disperse seeds of wild pistachio and almond trees critical to dry forest regeneration. Lebanon's Al-Shuf Cedar Reserve and Turkey's new bear corridors offer hope, though landmines from past conflicts still kill bears crossing borders. Number 6. The addax. Addax nasomaculatus carries spiral horns that look almost carved from ivory. Perfectly adapted to the most waterless deserts on Earth, they can go months, possibly their entire lives, without drinking, extracting moisture from succulents and dew. They once roamed the entire Sahara and Arabian deserts in herds of hundreds. Today, fewer than 100 survive in the wild, almost all in Niger's Termit and Tintuma Reserve. A handful may still wander remote corners of Saudi Saudi Arabia's empty quarter. The IUCN lists them as critically endangered. Uncontrolled oil exploration and military activity continue to shrink their range. Saudi Arabia's Imam Turki bin Abdullah Royal Reserve has begun soft-release programs with animals bred at the National Wildlife Research Center in Taif. Watching an addax stride across dunes is like watching a living relic of the Pleistocene. Number 5. The Arabian tahr. Arabitragus jayakari is a goat antelope found nowhere else but the Hajar Mountains of Oman and the UAE. Standing less than 3 feet at the shoulder, with backward curving horns and a reddish-brown coat, they navigate cliffs that would stop a mountain goat cold. Fewer than 2,500 remain, and the population is still falling. Climate change is pushing their preferred cool, misty north-facing slopes higher and drier every decade. Wadi Sarin Reserve in Oman and captive breeding at the Arabian Tahr Conservation Center in the UAE are racing to establish insurance populations before the mountain mists disappear entirely. Number 4. The Persian fallow deer. Dama mesopotamica once grazed the riverine forests of Mesopotamia and the Levant. By the 1940s, only a handful survived in southwestern Iran. Israeli conservationists brought 2 individuals to Jerusalem in the 1970s, and from that bottleneck, the population has grown to roughly 300 in the wild, mostly in northern Israel's Carmel region and along the Karkeh River in Iran. These deer sport palmate antlers like tiny moose and play a key role in maintaining open woodlands. Reintroductions continue in Jordan's Dana Biosphere Reserve, and genetic infusions from Iran are helping prevent inbreeding depression. Number 3. The Socotra cormorant. Phalacrocorax nigrogularis nests almost exclusively on a few rocky islands off Yemen and the UAE. A single colony on Sinai Island near Al-Quwain once held over 200,000 birds. Oil spills, commercial fishing bycatch, and disturbance from coastal development have caused catastrophic declines. Recent counts suggest fewer than 100,000 breeding pairs remain globally, and the IUCN moved them to vulnerable in 2023 with warnings of further collapse. Satellite tagging has revealed they forage hundreds of miles into the Arabian Sea, making them indicators of overall Gulf ecosystem health. Number 2. The hawksbill sea turtle. Eretmochilis imbricata is the only sea turtle species that truly depends on Middle Eastern waters for critical foraging habitat. The Arabian Gulf and Gulf of Oman host some of the world's densest hawksbill feeding grounds, where they prize sponges from coral with their narrow, bird-like beaks. The regional population has plummeted by more than 80% in the last 3 generations due to coastal development, oil pollution, and historic harvesting of their beautiful shells. Fewer than 2,000 nesting females are thought to return annually to beaches in Oman, Qatar, and Iran. The Emirates Marine Environment Group and Oman's Environment Society now run intensive beach patrols and hatchery programs. Every turtle that reaches adulthood represents a small victory against overwhelming odds. Number 1. The Arabian spiny-tailed lizard, or dub. Uromastix egyptioleptiini may seem an unlikely top spot, but this armored vegetarian lizard is sliding toward regional extinction faster than almost anything else on our list. Growing up to 2.5 feet long and weighing nearly 5 pounds, dubs dig deep burrows that serve as refuges for dozens of other desert species. Bedouin tradition once protected them, but in recent decades they have been heavily harvested for supposed medicinal properties. Qatar, Bahrain, and parts of Saudi Arabia have lost nearly their entire populations. A 2024 survey in the UAE found fewer than 3,000 adults remaining in protected areas. Captive breeding at the Al Hafaya Mountain Conservation Center has produced hundreds of juveniles for release, but without stronger enforcement against illegal trade, the desert's ecosystem engineer could vanish within a decade. If you are moved by any of these animals, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with someone who needs to know these creatures still walk, swim, and fly among us. Awareness is the first step, and together we can help make sure the Middle East's rarest wildlife remains part of our shared planet for generations to come. Thanks for watching Animal Insider. I'll see you in the next one.